I want to point out a crucial detail here for amateur players. You see, your first instinct is to push, and getting into a push rally before looping is the worst option. Why can't many players power loop effectively? Because after several pushes, the ball gets spinnier and spinnier, making a power loop impossible. Let me ask you, are you more confident adding friction during a push rally or on the very first return of serve? I'm less confident on the first return. Exactly. So when I add heavy spin, the ball you return has much less spin than one from a prolonged push rally. Because your touch is a bit tentative on the return, a soft touch allows your opponent to simply hit through the ball. This is why I strongly recommend that you always look to attack the first ball after your serve. The first return is the easiest ball to attack because it has the least amount of spin. If you get into a backspin rally, you must focus on looping with heavy spin once you're in position, not trying to power loop. A ball that's been pushed multiple times has too much spin to power through. Because your opponent is also confident now and can add heavy spin, trying to power loop will lead to unforced errors. So when the opponent's first return is low quality, the third ball attack is your best opportunity to hit a high-quality shot. Serve and attack must be your first option. If you're making too many errors in an important match, then you can switch to pushing and then looping. That is your backup plan. But your primary choice must always be the third ball attack because the return of serve is the simplest ball to handle. It's very difficult to switch from the slow rhythm of pushing to the explosive movement of looping. See? A slow rally, and then a sudden fast ball causes an immediate error. You're in a slow push rally, then your opponent suddenly pushes wide to your forehand, and you're too late to loop. It's very hard to adjust your center of gravity from a slow to a fast rhythm. Ultimately, you will end up just lifting with your arm to get the ball over the net. This makes it nearly impossible to win the point outright. And looping after they push is also very risky. Because attacking inherently has a higher risk of error than pushing. And in that situation, you can't generate a high-quality attack. So, pushing before looping is a very passive tactic. Therefore, you must make the third ball attack your primary scoring method. Just like we practiced this afternoon, after I serve, I actively look to attack the first return. Even if I miss the loop, I am training my timing and recovery. This must be your main way of scoring points. Pushing before you loop should only be a backup plan, a tactic for when you have no other choice. When you attack right after the serve, it puts immense pressure on your opponent. They won't be able to defend it. Their body is moving forward to receive, and your fast attacks to the wide angles are too quick. It's a completely different situation from them waiting to block your high, spinny loop after a push rally. With one short serve followed by two aggressive long balls, I can basically win the point. Because the receiver is moving in, they simply don't have time to retreat and cover both sides of the table. Even if they manage to return the ball, it will be a weak defensive shot, giving you another chance to attack. Second, you must have the right mindset for your serves. For a short serve, spin is not the main goal. Trying to add heavy spin forces you to use more power, which will make the ball go long. So, for a short serve, the first priority must be keeping it short. In training, a serve must bounce at least 3 times on the table to be considered truly short. A hook serve should travel sideways, not forward. The same applies to your side spin and backspin serves. Train for 3 bounces, and in a match, you might get 2. The amount of spin isn't the most important thing. The second key element is keeping it low. The reason I can aggressively flick your hook serve is because even though you're trying to serve low, its trajectory is still too high. Your serve must travel low, skimming the net. How do you keep it low over the net? You must lower your center of gravity when serving short. When practicing short serves, try not to stomp your foot, as the rebound force can cause the ball to pop up half-long. Next, analyze the first bounce of your serve. Your hook serve is high because the first bounce is too close to the net, causing the ball to cross the net at its peak trajectory. If you pull the first bounce closer to you, the ball will be on a downward path as it crosses the net, keeping it much lower. The goal is for the ball to cross the net after its peak, so it lands on your opponent's side on a low trajectory. If the first bounce is too far forward, the ball will cross high and bounce high, resulting in an easy half-long ball to attack. This gives your opponent an easy opportunity to attack you. A forehand short serve is difficult to return when it's aimed wide down the line. Your hook serve earlier was spinny, but its diagonal placement was too easy for an opponent to reach by just stepping forward. The spot I serve to is unreachable without moving your other foot. This wide area is the golden zone for a short forehand serve. Left-handers' serves feel awkward because their first bounce forces you into an uncomfortable step you can't make easily. You need to serve to a placement that forces your opponent to move their non-playing leg, which will naturally lower the quality of their return. A serve that can be returned by just extending the playing side leg is too simple. So, in practice, place a target like a racket case in that small, golden triangle area and aim all your serves there. For your short forehand serve, find the perfect first bounce position that allows the ball to cross the net at its lowest possible point. Set placement targets for yourself during practice. Any serve outside that target is a miss. Do this 200 to 300 times a day, and your muscle memory will take over. It's an issue of awareness. If you don't put pressure on yourself in practice, you'll get nervous and make mistakes when trying to execute a key serve in a match. The reason for these errors is a lack of pressure in training, which leads to overthinking and tension during critical points. The golden placement is the spot your opponent can't reach in a single step. Force them to stretch for the ball, and you'll create an opportunity on the next shot. If you feel slow after serving, it's because your serve has too much spin. If you want to attack, serving heavy backspin is a mistake. Their push will send that spin right back, causing your attack to go into the net. If you serve with no spin, their same push return will be an easy ball for you to attack. So, when you want to attack the third ball, never serve with heavy backspin. Otherwise, their push will return your own spin, making your attack difficult. When you're looking to attack, serve a no-spin ball. Their return will be easy to loop, setting up your offense perfectly. Serve with light backspin. This light backspin is optimal for your own backspin loop, as their return won't be heavy, and if they try to push it aggressively, they'll likely push it long. A semi-spinny serve that looks heavy can deceive your opponent and make them unsure on their return. When they push it back, you can step in and immediately attack it. For opponents who don't attack and only push, serve them light backspin. If your opponent likes to loop, then you must serve with heavy spin, because a light backspin serve is too easy for them to attack. However, if their primary shot is the push, don't set a trap for yourself by serving with heavy spin. No matter how heavy you serve it, they can still push it back. In this situation, against a pusher, serve light backspin. Only serve heavy backspin against opponents who like to attack, flick, or loop. The strong spin will make it easier for them to make a mistake. Against a consistent pusher, even a sidespin topspin serve can be pushed back, and the return will be a tricky, floating ball that's hard to reach. Let me demonstrate. You see, a return like that is difficult to time and feels very awkward to play against. Even if they try to flick a light backspin serve, a powerful flick will go into the net. They have to loop it gently, making the ball slow and giving you an opportunity. At the professional level, we use a mix of backspin and no-spin serves to neutralize the opponent and set up a decisive third ball attack. They have no good answer to it. Of course, you can mix in a sidespin topspin serve. After that serve, be ready for either a half-long ball or a topspin return. Those are the only two possibilities. If they push it, it will pop up high. If it doesn't, your topspin serve wasn't effective. If I serve light backspin, they will likely push instinctively, so I prepare to loop a backspin ball. If I serve sidespin topspin, I anticipate a flick or a high push, and I'm ready to counter with a quick block, a backhand rip, or a smash. With these tactics, plus varying placement, you can overwhelm an opponent. If your opponent is reading your go to sidespin backspin serve, you must change your strategy. Try serving the same spin to the middle. If that doesn't work, try their forehand. If that fails, try serving wide to the lines. Or try a short serve to their forehand. You can't just offer them the same apple every time, eventually they get used to it. You need to offer them a fruit platter, banana, pear, apple, watermelon. They'll have trouble with at least one of them. Just because an opponent is strong on their backhand corner doesn't mean they're strong in the middle, and a strong middle doesn't guarantee a strong wide game. You must use your serves to move your opponent around, test the sidelines, test the forehand. Furthermore, you need to anticipate the return to your serve. You mentioned that when you serve deep to their backhand, you're sometimes late for their return to your forehand. So, you need to think, how can I serve to prevent them from playing a wide angle? Perhaps by serving wider down the line. If your opponent likes to loop from their forehand, then intentionally serve there to bait them, and be ready to block their attack. If you want a predictable return, your serve must be executed with precision and purpose. If you want to start a topspin rally, you must serve sidespin topspin. If you want to play defensively, you must serve with heavy backspin. If you want to attack, you must serve a short, light backspin ball. This forces a return that you can attack, even a simple counterflick will be effective. If you want to force a high ball, you need to master the short sidespin topspin serve. The current problem is that your serves lack clear spin variation, which means you can't build tactics around them. Without a good hook serve, your regular sidespin serve is just a semi-spinny, neutral ball. A serve that is just half spin offers no real variation. This is why you need to practice the hook serve. Your sidespin and backhand serves can be pushed back, but a proper hook serve cannot. When they try to push it, the ball pops up, because the hook serve motion is like a loop. Look, this motion is like executing a loop right after the first bounce. The opponent can't push it effectively because it's a topspin ball. In contrast, your regular sidespin serve motion goes from high to low and back up, which makes it very difficult to generate pure sidespin topspin. The hook serve is the key to forcing a predictable topspin return, because a push is not a viable option for your opponent. When you serve hook sidespin topspin and they pop it up, you just need to be ready to smash it. If you can't generate hook sidespin topspin effectively, you must find another way, which means practicing your hook serve. Only then can your backspin-based tactics be effective. If all your serves are backspin, you'll lose pushing rallies, make errors when you try to loop, and fail to defend. You're guaranteed to lose. Your only way forward is to master the hook sidespin topspin serve. With this serve, even if the opponent knows it's topspin, there's very little they can do about it. If they add power, the ball goes out. Their only option is a soft block, which often goes to the middle or forehand, setting you up for an easy kill shot. You must make the return predictable. Only then can you prepare your attack. If your serve gives your opponent too many options, to push, loop, or flick, you'll be left unprepared, as if you were receiving serve yourself. Serve a short, light backspin ball, and they will most likely have to push it back. Serve a long, sidespin topspin ball, and they can only return it with topspin. Serve a fast, long ball to their forehand, and their return will be forced to your forehand side. When the return is this predictable, your success rate will be much higher. If the return to your serve is as unpredictable as receiving a serve, you'll naturally make more mistakes and be caught off guard. So, when you practice serves, don't just practice what looks cool. Practice the serves that set up your specific attack patterns. Amateur players often face a situation where they know the incoming ball is topspin but simply can't handle it. Attacking it leads to an error, pushing is impossible, and a simple block sets up the opponent. It's a helpless feeling. You know exactly why you're losing the point but can't break the cycle. You know the short serve to your forehand is sidespin topspin, but you flick it out or push it high, and they smash it. They will exploit that weakness over and over, and years can go by with you stuck on the same problem. If you don't add new skills to your game, you're just hoping your opponent makes a mistake. Relying on your opponent to miss only works against beginners. In a real match, you must have weapons that your opponent fears. If your shots pose no threat, you can't win.